Subtle skills, big results.
Welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast.
Hey everyone, it's your good friend Eric Thompson. This is the Ninja Selling Podcast. Thank you so much for joining and engaging, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We have yet again another podcast to give you actionable takeaways that you can implement into your business. We're going to have a great interview. We happen to be in the process of an interview series of ninjas who have had their best year yet in 2025, because what we want for you is for you to have your best year yet. So we want to show you how to do it. We want you to hear how to do it by listening to others who have done it. So today we have an amazing ninja who's going to tell his story. We're going to hear about his best year in 2025. We're going to hear about how he did it, all the incredible components of his business. So again, so that you can implement something similar. I want everyone to meet Derek Walden. Derek, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
It's our pleasure, Derek. We're so happy that you're here. Let's get to know you a little bit. Let's just start with some basics. Tell us where you live, and then tell us the company that you're with.
Yeah, so I'm from Wichita, Kansas, also known as the air capital of the world. And I work with a local independent brokerage called At Home Wichita.
Okay, At Home Wichita.
Yeah.
Known as the air capital of the world.
Yes, yeah. A lot of aircraft, aeronautical industry happens here. It's a big part of our economy here.
Got it.
Yeah.
I never knew that. And I know some other ninjas from Wichita, but I didn't know that expression about Wichita. And
Yeah.
Derek, you've already given us the very first takeaway, fun trivia about that. Derek, tell us about your family.
Yes, I was fortunate to meet and marry my high school sweetheart, and we actually did not go to the same school growing up. She went to a school about 30 minutes south from me, but I'll save you the long, sappy story. But from a snowball dance, our relationship evolved and flourished, and now we have 8 children with another on the way in August, including 2 adopted.
My goodness.
Yeah.
8 children, about to have 9. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On the
6
one
girls.
on the way. 6 girls. My goodness. I have 2 girls, and that's a lot to handle. I have even more respect for you, Derek.
Thank you.
So what you just said is a good way to frame up what we're going to talk about next, because you had your best year.
Mhm.
You had, Derek, last year in 2025, you had 56 transactions.
Yes.
56 transactions, 15 million of volume. You more than doubled your business. I'm trying to imagine what it's like to have 56 transactions and 8 kids with 1 on the way. But we celebrate that, Derek. We're so happy for you. What an incredible result to have 56 transactions. You're someone who is really good. I know with the help of your coach, you work with Ninja Coach Mark Johnson. You're really good about tracking your numbers. And I want you to share some detailed numbers for 2 reasons. I think the numbers themselves are interesting. And I want everyone listening to just be listening to how well Derek knows his business, because he knows these numbers. So these numbers he's about to share, we encourage everyone to track, know them as well as Derek does. Derek, will you share these numbers that we're talking about?
Yes. Just looking at from 56 transactions, just going down my business plan here, GCI was around 450 and net income around 319 at 1,900 hours per year, depending on how you budget in for vacations and such. Averaged about 167 net per hour. I feel like it may be better just because I have very flexible schedule. I take frequent trips, but I have those as like working trips on some occasions. Average sales price, $268. Nothing crazy. We have a pretty modest market here in the Midwest. And as far as listings taken, we're about 50-50. Personally, I love listings, but we're about 50-50 on buying and selling.
Got it. Okay. 1,900 hours. That's interesting, because we give people a rule of thumb. If they're not sure how many hours they worked, we tell them as a rule of thumb 2,000, because that's 40 hours a week times 50 weeks. So you're right there, just slightly under that.
Mhm.
And again, congratulations on those results.
Yeah.
And great year. You served in the military.
Yes.
Tell us about that background.
Yeah, since high school, I had an interest. Going way back, I think we can all remember the original Top Gun. And so, like many young people, I had aspirations of being a naval aviator. That ended up not working out, and I became focused on joining the Marine Corps. That was a time when our country was at war, and so I just felt it my patriotic duty to join. I felt like I was an able-bodied young man, and that was an interest that I had. So I just wanted to be an infantry Marine. I ended up surpassing my own expectations and screened out for reconnaissance. Eventually went on to serve with the reconnaissance teams as a point man and fought in Fallujah in '06 and '07. And I joke that I packed about 10 years of experience and a little over 4 years of that Marine enlistment. Some of the military folks will know what I'm talking about, but I was fortunate to go to jump school, dive school, seer school, and a couple other small and interesting training opportunities. After that, I thought I was going to get out. My uncle flew tankers for the Air Force. He's, hey, you should consider this option called the Air National Guard, which we have locally here at McConnell Air Force Base, and ended up joining, became a geospatial intelligence analyst, and then I ended up finishing out my Air National Guard career in the chaplain corps, and a couple of years ago retired after 20 years.
Got it. Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. The whole Ninja Nation is thanking you. What an incredible service you gave to our country, and we're really grateful for that. So, Derek, you earlier in your career, in your real estate career, you were on a team, and if I understand, it was a team that was focused on lead gen.
Yeah.
And you told me that you really felt like you were on a hamster wheel back then. And so, can you tell us about that? About what that was like, and then the transition you went through to become more ninja?
Sure. Yeah, as you and I both know, the reality is there's multiple ways that we can run a business to do this business. And for that particular style, it was just very heavy on internet leads, cold calling. And it wasn't until I learned the ninja approach later that there's a different way that really aligns more with my values, adding value, solving problems. But during those early years, it was just, I mentioned the hamster wheel because it's just like a lot of grinding, a lot of working, not a ton of take home. Your price per hour is super low, and it's just a grind. And some folks, they like that environment. I just found a different approach that works better for me and my values. And I will say, just some of the leads were like lower trust, not really our tribe. The commitment may not have been there. Some of the leads may not respect your time and expertise, like maybe those that know you, like you, and trust you will. And so that was what some of the main differences that I found.
Yeah. We also find they're not as loyal.
Yes.
Like you said, they can be more skeptical. They're much harder to build rapport with. They can take a lot of time. And so you're saying it didn't align with your values. Also didn't align with your family life, with your family demands, with as large a family as you have.
Yes.
You have to be very efficient with your time. Yeah, I can only imagine for you, the ninja way was not only enlightening, but just relieving a burden that you felt, I would guess.
Oh, yeah. It opened my eyes to a whole new way and world of doing business.
Okay, Derek, now let's get into more about the fact that you more than doubled your business from 2024 to 2025. But again, last year you did 56 transactions. So as you look back on that, and the fact that you did that and how you did that, was it one thing? Was it several things? What comes up for you as the key things that you did, the key things in mindset, skill set, actions that were true in 2025 to cause such a big increase?
I would say it was a combination of things. I've joked with some that part of it's just pure persistence. I joke with some that I was too stupid to quit and eventually succeeded after about 7 years, gained some traction. My business partner, who has only known the ninja way, he cut that time by more than half. In about 3 years, he was pretty well established. But I'd say, first of all, just the persistence, the momentum over time. So just as building that experience, the confidence, I feel like just every year I equate it to a train, just building momentum. And every year you're adding one more car to the train and building that much more momentum. And so, that's what I would say cumulatively helped with my success.
Okay, Derek. So one thing I know that's really important to you in your business, one thing that's valuable to you in your business are live conversations. You really enjoy live conversations. You also told me, Derek, that you hate small talk. So tell us more about that, about these live conversations.
Yes.
About hating small talk. And then tell us how that translates into results that you get in your business.
I've always been a deep person. I remember a little bit weird, like in middle school and at high school, and evaluating relationships like, okay, is this someone that I could see myself with or marrying long term? And so I'd say to some degree, I've always been geared that way. But I will say, coupled with my Marine Corps experience, it definitely has a way of just sobering you and making things a bit more serious. When you have life and death situations, small talk goes out of the way and you're just focused on keeping your friends alive or getting back safe and things like that. But that has transited for me and just really focusing on deep and substantive things and learning deeply about others, truly being present and listening. And fortunately, that's something that we frankly get paid to do as ninjas, is to be interested in others, be engaged, serve them. And I want to go back to a previous comment you mentioned about what has helped build momentum to last year. And someone has once said that if you work hard and do the right things, good things will happen. And so I've adopted that as one of my mottos. Hey, you work hard, love others, do the right thing, and let the pieces fall where they do. And that's
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, absolutely. As you were talking about these conversations, thinking about what we coach and teach in Ninja, there are three levels of a conversation. You can have fluff, those surface level things. You can have facts, like, hey, what'd you do this last weekend? What do you have planned this coming weekend? And then the deepest levels, you can have feelings. It's really interesting what you said about your military background. There you are in a dangerous place, in an intense place with these other people. There's really no room for small talk. There's no room for fluff. And so you're saying that's where you practiced or maybe enhanced a skill to
Yes.
get down to that feelings level. And all that it doesn't mean we're being a therapist. All that means is we're connecting to people at a deeper level. Like we're talking about things that are the most important to
Yes.
them. And you love that more than anything else. And so how does that show up in your business? And how often are you having one-on-one conversations with
Yes.
people in your sphere? What does that look like? How long are they? Tell us more about that.
And it's interesting because sometimes I'll tell Mark that I have like imposter syndrome sometimes because I don't feel like I'm an excellent ninja in every respect. But one thing that I have noticed is I am just very intentional about engaging relationships, scheduling time for relationships, whether it's a coffee or a lunch or a dinner. And to your point earlier about the three levels of conversation with the fluff, and you got to have some of that. You got to break the ice, but then you can go to facts and what are your plans for the holidays, things like that. But what I have found is when you spend prolonged, meaningful time together, say maybe bringing a family over for dinner at your place, that's just a very warm, intimate environment. And what I have found is, you break the ice, you talk about some facts, but eventually, hopefully, you can graduate to that next level of trust where they share deep and true things about their family, their life, and you do the same. And I think that's really what life is all about, is just having those deep and meaningful conversations. And it's not for money, it's not for business, it's because you care. And I think that's really the difference maker.
And you're never once having to bring up real estate. You're just bringing up them and their life. And there you are being seen and felt as a person who really cares.
Yes.
And they know you also as a real estate expert. So you just become the natural choice for them to work with because they have such a great, trusted relationship with you and they know you as an expert.
And Eric, I will say, practically speaking, and this is where I don't feel like an amazing ninja all the time, but I just look at my schedule. I see what openings I have. I review my database. I see who I haven't reached out to in a little while or who I want to stay in touch with and just see when they're free and just do life together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. So how many live conversations are you having on a weekly basis?
It's tough to say. I would say actually I have anywhere from 20 to 30, not super high, but what I have found is we spend longer time together. And so I go a little bit deeper, but I don't quite have the frequency of many ninjas. And that's an area that I can improve, frankly.
Got it. So it's the more quality instead of quantity.
Yes,
And
exactly.
we always want quality. So when we coach people to have 50 live, it's not just about checking the box and having just chit chat with someone. It's about real deep conversation, but you admit that's an opportunity for you.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, Derek, I'm thinking about if you went from 30 conversations a week to 50, what your results would look like. You had 56 actions last year, and it would.
And just on that note, on the transactions and with this way of doing business that we're talking about, because I had done around 50 transactions previously with other teams, but it felt grueling. It felt like I had no time. It's really interesting that this past year, I did more transactions than ever. And I never really felt like it was just like this endless treadmill. It almost felt, I don't want to say effortless, but it just felt integrated. It felt natural. And I think a large part of that was because people that we're working with, they're just our tribe. They understand us. We work well together. They respect our time. We set expectations. And it's like kind of like taking phone calls from a stranger versus taking a phone call from a friend. When it's from a friend, it doesn't really feel like work. And so I'll just say that for the past year with all those transactions, it didn't feel terribly busy. So
Yeah, it's certainly not a hamster wheel.
yeah, correct.
Not a hamster
Yep.
wheel. Yeah. Derek, tell us, we're curious to know a little bit more about your flow, your auto flow.
Yes.
So how many people are in your sphere, and walk us through how you stay in flow with them?
We have 308 in our database, and we do a quarterly newsletter. It's been our style, and my style is, again, very personal, very deep. I share personal things. We have a lot of family pictures on there. Of course, with our family, there's never a dull moment, so there's plenty of opportunities to share updates. But it's also a place where I can truly be myself, and I share just who I am as a person. My faith comes through, my personality comes through, and it's pretty common that I'll receive some type of feedback when we send out that newsletter, just saying, hey, thanks for sending out. Appreciate seeing the family updates. Appreciate your words of encouragement, whatever it was. And so that's been really helpful for us.
That's amazing. And that newsletter is through the mail or email?
Through the mail.
Through the mail.
We
Okay,
actually
so
do basically no email.
no email, 2 to 3 postcards a month, plus quarterly email printed newsletter. And are the postcards the classic mixture of art and science, or are they mostly science?
We do a mixture. Every year we'll do like a beginning of the year market update. We've had really good success on the science side with just doing kind of a summary market overview. I had one, he was an engineer, but he gave me some feedback and said, hey, I just appreciate this is digestible, it's informative, it's adding value, and this is the perfect size and length of what I'm looking for with an update. And so that's just one feedback point, but hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, very helpful. That's great. Really great. Derek, tell us about what it's been like to be coached, and maybe even before coaching, after coaching.
Yeah.
How has coaching helped you?
Yeah, I would say coaching has helped me, certainly on the skill set side. I think at some point, we all know what skill sets we should be developing and doing. The accountability and the inspiration and the belief part, I think, are some of the intangibles that, for me, Mark has really helped me with. And I like to say that my time with Mark, certainly on the skill set side, I'll have, whether it's a challenge I'm working through, he'll have a key insight that's helpful. But if I'm honest, it's primarily just an inspiration, a shot in the arm. Hey, this is doable. There are other agents that are doing this. Get back in the game. And so that has been a difference for me. And I would say also, it's a difference between living life on accident and living on purpose. And just having that coach with the regular meetings really helps keep your eye on the ball. And that's something that I've appreciated over the years with Mark.
Oh, that's great. Derek, this has been great. So many takeaways. I know there are a few things you want to leave us with. I know that you're inspired by the fact that you have the ear of the Ninja Nation right now, and there's some things that you want to share to encourage people and keep them going. So please do that.
Okay, sure. Thank you. I just want to say that I believe that having an integrated life is a powerful life. And personally, my faith really drives everything that I do. And I truly believe that I was created to love and serve others. And so that's something that I have internalized deeply. And I get to wake up every day with purpose. I get to wake up every day with intentionality that there are people that I get to love and serve. And I've never had a conversation on the phone that I was like, I wish I wouldn't have had that conversation. And that's what keeps me motivated. And as I was thinking about just a few maybe keywords that I could share, the first one is to just relax. I think a lot of ninjas, we can white knuckle things. We can white knuckle life. We have to force things through. And it's like, hey, just pause, take a step back, take a deep breath, collect yourself. And so for me personally, that just looks like humbling myself, not focusing on the results, just focusing on what I can control. And then I would recommend just learn to walk fully in who you were created to be. And from that identity, from that humility, from taking the weight off your shoulders, then we can get to the actions of doing. And so that aligns with our mindset, our skill set, our actions. And so I just want to encourage the Ninja Nation. You can certainly do it. It is possible. And I don't want to sound cliche and say if I can do it, anyone can. But I just want to encourage folks with those words.
Derek, thank you. Really inspiring, very encouraging.
Thank you.
Just really great of you to share that, and great of you to share all of this. Again, congratulations on your year, your increase. We look forward to seeing probably yet again another best year yet, based on the trajectory that you're on. Just really grateful for all these takeaways. So much to learn from you, and thank you again for being on the podcast.
Yes, well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we are happy to have you. It's been our pleasure, and thank you everyone for listening. We so appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care.
If you enjoyed this episode, visit us at theninjasellingpodcast.com to learn more about ninja selling classes and coaching to get you started or further your journey on the ninja path.
Thank you for joining us. Now go have an incredible day.